In this video, I'm going to show you a tour of the electronics in this truck bed camper that I built this summer. I already recorded a full tour video here on YouTube, so you can check that out if you want to see just a basic general tour of this vehicle. And let's get into the video. I'm going to show you around, show you the 12-volt system, show you all the solar that's on the roof, the shore power, the DC to DC charger. There's a lot in this vehicle as far as electronics go. Really good air conditioning that runs in the heat of summer of Florida. So let's just get into it and I'll start walking you around. All right, so the first thing you're going to notice here is we have 4 solar panels, and those are if you look at the middle of the screen, that's where the wiring enters into the roof and the ceiling of the vehicle, and I'll show you what that looks like from the inside. And so these 2 solar panels on the front right here are wired in to the first one, and then the 2 solar panels on the top are wired into the second. So there's actually 2 inlets there for wiring to enter into the roof, and so I'll show you that from the inside. Super clean wiring, and you'll see that. Here we have the entry point for the DC to DC charger, and it has the same inlet. So has the black and red here. The DC to DC charger wiring goes down here, has some zip ties on the frame along the truck, and then it comes up, enters into the engine area, and it attaches the black and red to the battery, so that way when you're driving you can charge your batteries for the inside of the camper. So that is that section. Also, we have the shore power here. So this is the inlet for the shore power. Just Amazon, purchased this on Amazon, waterproof gasket outlet dealio. And I'll show you what that looks like on the inside. All right, so this is the ceiling. So we'll just jump back. That solar, it enters around here, the middle of the ceiling, and those wires are drawn. They come across here, and they come across here, and then they drop down this wall. So they kind of come around this window, the top of it, and then they drop down this wall, and then they come down here, and they enter here. So this is the solar. This is the front one, PV1. This is the back 2 solar panels, that's PV2. And this is the car DC to DC charger. So those are all, these are solar panels, and this one here is the DC to DC charger, okay? Now for the shore power, that black inlet is somewhere around this area of the truck, and the wiring just comes across this wall, and it has an extension cable here. So basically you can plug in on the black side, or on the black inlet, you can plug in shore power, and then you have 3 outlets here just ready to go. For me, the Blue Eddy has an extension cable, so you can plug a extension cable into here, and then you can just plug into that, and you can charge your Blue Eddy batteries if that's what you're using. And just jumping back to the DC to DC charger and the solar panels, we have, this is the charger 1, so this is the DC to DC charger here. And for the Blue Eddy, you don't need an inverter. All that is self-contained within these devices here, so you don't need an inverter or anything like that. This is the DC to DC charger. It has PV, like normal, like similar to solar panels. It has that sort of input there. And so basically I can just charge it in, or plug it in just like this, as if it's solar. And so that is that. And then I'll take these out of the vehicle in just a moment, and we'll show you what all these batteries look like on the front so you can get a better look at it. And yeah, so the only other thing that I should talk about, I guess, before I do that, is the 12-volt system. So the 12-volt system involves this here. This is the vent fan. This is 12 volt, and this sink here is 12 volt. So with all 3 of these devices, there's 12 volt wiring that goes back behind this wall, comes around this corner, and then it drops down here. So these are the 12 volt wires. There's 3 of those as well. And those plug into this 12 volt right here. This is a 12 volt breaker. So this is marine grade, water resistant marine grade for RVs and boating. It's a 12 volt breaker. And so all those are powered into here. And then this breaker actually has a, let's see here. So this breaker is then wired into the Blue Eddy. So if you see that blue, this wire with the blue cap on it, it just plugs into the Blue Eddy. Similar to like, it's similar to this, but it's not the same. But yeah, that's how the 12 volt system is wired up. And so, yeah, that's pretty much that. Also, obviously, I mentioned this guy. So this is just like a normal outlet thing, and it's just plugged in like an extension cable into the Blue Eddy. I just did that for convenience. So that way I can plug in a charging brick in like a charging brick here, and I can just plug my phone in, plug my dehumidifier in. I can plug the AC in there. You'll notice, obviously, the AC, I just use this. I just plug it in directly. So the wire just kind of hangs down, which is fine. Not ideal, I guess, but yeah, it works out all right. And I think that's pretty much it. The lights here, you could do something better with lights, but I just have these LED lights. Keep it lit up in the evenings. And yeah, let's just pull these out and we'll take a look at the batteries. All right, now this is going to be just a quick overview of the Blue Eddy. So this is AC300. This is, I believe it's called a charge controller. So this is not a battery. This is just for all the outlets. So there's a bunch of these outlets. Those are all the same. And then you have, I think this is like a 220 watt. I don't know what that is, but you have that guy. You have a bunch of like USB inputs. You have a USB-C, and then you have your 12 volt system and your 24 volt input. And this you can actually use for charging your phone. You just set it on there. It's quite nice. I think you can charge other stuff too, not just your phone. So that's the front, and this is the side. So this is where you plug in the batteries. So these are the two B300K batteries. Each of them are 2,765 watt hours. So those are super awesome. You can get more of these, by the way, if you want. I think you can extend them. Like you could buy 2 more of these and you could just plug them into each other. As you can see here, this, you can do this a bunch of different ways, but how I have it set up is this first one plugs into this battery and the second one plugs into the bottom battery. I could plug this top one into here, and then I could plug this one into here. So that way I'm only using one. I don't understand like the advantages to doing them different ways. I don't really understand that, but yeah, you could basically buy like 5 more of these if you really want a bunch of battery space, and then you could just plug them into each other like a chain. Okay, so yeah, I mean, you could watch if you don't understand these batteries. I mean, I'm not really an expert. I just use them for what I need, right? So you can watch a video about this device. But basically what I use it for is, this is the 12 volt system. So this plugs into my 12 volt breaker, and my 12 volt breaker plugs into my sink, my vent fan, and my stove. So those are my 12 volt systems. And then for the solar panels, they plug in here, as well as the DC to DC charger just plugs right into here. And you have a splitter. So Blue Eddy comes with a bunch of different cables and wires. And so you have, like, for example, this is for shore power. So this plugs into the Blue Eddy right here, and then this plugs into just a normal outlet. So you could charge these batteries using a normal outlet. You plug this in here, you plug this into the outlet, and then you plug these batteries into here, and that's how it charges it. And I don't want to make this video crazy long, so I think I'm going to stop it here. Also, this is obviously the normal outlets. I already showed you earlier. I just plug in a power brick, and I just basically use one of those. One other add-on thing I'm going to mention here is this is the AC unit. It is technically, like, I guess, permanently installed with insulation and screws, and yeah, it's in there. But if you notice, there's these guys, and the reason those are there is because if you want to cap this, there's actually, I made this weatherproof thingy. Basically, you just like stick this in and then pull it out, and it just caps off the door from the outside. So if you want to, you can remove all this stuff. It wouldn't be difficult. Basically, you just have to remove these screws. You could patch those holes, and then you could just clean up the insulation foam. Just clean that stuff up, remove it, and that would be super easy. And then you could just install this guy from the outside, not the inside like this, but you'd install this from the outside. And I made this so you could actually do this. If you really wanted to, you could actually like remove the screws out of this, and you could use this when you want it. Just put it in the window here when you want to use it. You could just remove it, and then you could put this on. So I actually made it initially so I could just use this when I want to, and then I would just, anytime I was driving, I would put this on. But I decided to permanently install the air conditioning unit. So yeah, but that's what these brackets are for on the sides here, is to lock in this guy with right here. So these clamp down, and then those twist and lock it into place.